All right, let's just dive right into this. I want you to imagine you have a message you need to send. But we're not talking about sending it across town or even across the planet. Nope, you need to send a message across time itself. A message that has to survive, well, everything. The erosion of mountains, the boiling of entire oceans, the slow, inevitable crawl of continents.
So, how would you actually do it? I mean, what medium is stable enough, durable enough, and self-replicating enough to carry a signal across geologic time? Forget stone tablets or golden records. Seriously, on this kind of timescale, those things are as fragile as glass.
Well, the answer, and this is going to sound wild, it's life itself. The single most durable, self-correcting, high-fidelity information storage system we know of anywhere in the universe is the DNA molecule. So today, we're going to explore this incredible idea, how a civilization could turn the very code of life into the ultimate message in a bottle. To really get our heads around this, we're going to look at two amazing and kind of competing philosophies. We'll start with the most direct and practical one, the engineer's approach. You can think of this as two completely different visions. On one hand, you have the engineer. The engineer looks at DNA and sees a profoundly durable hard drive, a place to store data. Simple. But on the other hand, you have the artist, who sees life itself as the medium, a way to make the message totally inseparable from the act of living. Let's start with the engineer. The engineer's plan is, well, it's beautifully straightforward. You find a stable, non-coding region of DNA, what people used to call junk DNA. You basically treat it like a blank partition on a hard drive. Then you just write your data into it, and you mark it with unambiguous mathematical beacons, like the digits of pi or a long sequence of prime numbers. It's logical, it's robust, and it's a fantastic place to start.
But what if you could go deeper? What if you could build on that solid engineering foundation to create something even more profound, something that literally weaves the message into the very fabric of biology? Well, that's the artist's vision. That is the Living Cipher.
And this is a radical shift in perspective, a total game changer. It's no longer about DNA simply storing a message. Now, the actual processes of life, transcription, translation, just plain survival, they become essential parts of reading and preserving that message. Now, the key to this entire idea, the secret sauce, is something called codon redundancy. You see, in our DNA, the genetic code has this built-in flexibility. For example, the amino acid leucine can be coded by 6 different 3-letter DNA sequences. We call them codons. This means you can choose which codon to use without changing the final protein at all. That redundancy, that's the perfect hiding place for a second layer of information. So that's the tool. But how do you actually use that redundancy to slip a secret message right under the nose of natural selection itself? Instead of using junk DNA like the engineer, the artist hides the message inside an incredibly important ancient gene, one that codes for a protein that's absolutely essential for survival. Think a molecule that helps generate energy or build cell walls. The protein itself becomes the cover text. And this is the absolute genius of the approach. By tying the message to a vital gene, you've essentially outsourced your error correction to evolution itself. Natural selection will fiercely protect the function of that protein, and by doing so, it automatically protects the cover text that's concealing your hidden data. It's brilliant. Let's just walk through a quick example to see exactly how this works. Let's encode the simple message hi. Okay, first up, you convert hi into binary. Easy enough. Step 2, you pick your cover text, a sequence of essential amino acids. For step 3, you create a cipher key for each of those amino acids, assigning a binary value to each of its possible DNA codons. Then, for step 4, you just map your binary message bit by bit to the codon choices. And the final result, step 5, is a DNA sequence that makes a perfectly functional protein, but hidden within those specific codon choices is the binary code for hi. Okay, but hold on a second. Even if the message is there, how would a future civilization ever know they've found it? And how could they verify it's still intact? Well, the artist's solution isn't just mathematical, it's physical, it's biochemical. The key to unlock the whole message could be an actual physical object created by the organism itself. Part of the message would encode a short protein that, when it's made, spontaneously folds into a very specific 3D shape, maybe a perfect little tetrahedron or a shape that physically latches on to the start of the message on the DNA strand. Suddenly, the verification isn't just math, it's tangible physics.
And for error checking? I mean, forget a digital hash. This is way cooler. The message could end by encoding just a few simple enzymes. Now, if the code is intact, these enzymes create a tiny metabolic pathway that produces a rare but very easy to detect molecule. The mere presence of this molecule inside the organism is the signal. Checksum passed. The message is uncorrupted. The organism is literally running its own diagnostic test.
So let's put these two incredible visions side by side. Let's really see how they stack up against each other. Okay, you can really see the difference here, right? The engineer's design, it's external, it's mathematical, it treats DNA like simple storage. But the artist's extension is integrated, it's biochemical. It treats life itself as the medium. For verification, the engineer uses a mathematical beacon, like prime numbers. The artist uses the physical shape of a protein. For a checksum, the engineer uses a digital hash. The artist uses a whole metabolic pathway that produces a tangible molecule. But here's the thing. This isn't really an either-or choice. The engineer's super practical design gives you a robust, unambiguous foundation, and then the artist's enhancements weave that message into the very soul of the organism. If you combine them, a mathematical beacon in a non-coding region that points to a living cipher hidden in a vital gene, that would create an unmistakable, undeniable signature of intelligence. And that kind of leaves us with one final question. If we were the ones to discover a message like this, a perfect fusion of mathematical genius and biological elegance, hidden in plain sight across millions of species, what would we even call that? Would it be the greatest discovery in the history of science, or the most profound work of art ever conceived? Something to think about.